gathered on Christmas Eve to celebrate the birth of our Lord, to begin to think about what it means to have God come to take on flesh and blood among us. The service begins on the very first page of the worship folder with a dialogue. We pause for a moment of silence and then we begin. We gather to celebrate the birth of a famous person. When a child is born, nobody pays attention. It's not a national holiday. When Lincoln was born, nobody had any idea that he was going to be the president. So nothing much gets said. But later in life, after he has lived his life, then all kinds of things are written even about his early childhood. The same thing is true of Jesus. Who's paying any attention? But afterwards, Luke writes his gospel to say, you got to understand something about who this person is. So he writes an account that is designed to say, what is the significance of this child? And he records that this child is born under the circumstances of having a government yank him around. Here he is, the Almighty. And he has to go to Bethlehem. His home was in Nazareth. That's where he grew up. But Daddy has to go to Bethlehem because Caesar says you got to go. You got to count noses so I can know how much money I can collect in taxes. Since they didn't have the kinds of census statistics and mechanisms that we have today, that meant he was there. Joseph was probably there a number of years. What do you do for a job? He was a carpenter. So I suspect he's, making bowls and spoons and maybe a few yokes and things like that to make a little bit of money so that they can live. And then they stay there for who knows how long. And the Almighty gets born in a barn? That makes no sense at all. And then the people who are informed about it are the shepherds. Now, not the town council, not the mayor of Jerusalem. It's only 6 miles away. Not any of the kings, not the emperor. The emperor wouldn't have liked it very much if he had been notified. All of them are left out. But the shepherds, who are at that time in history considered not very nice people, sort of the kind of people you would say, lock up your daughters if the shepherds come to town, don't buy anything from them, they're here today and gone tomorrow. They were considered so fly-by-night that they could not give testimony in a court of law because you could pay them $10 and they'd say anything because they weren't going to be around tomorrow. So these are the ones who get notified. What's Luke trying to say? A young woman engaged, naughty, naughty, not yet married, and Joseph had said, we hear elsewhere in Matthew, for example, he didn't have anything to do with this. Yeah. And then these shepherds and getting yanked around by paltry rulers. Who knows much about Caesar Augustus at this point in history? Who knows something about Jesus Christ? Why?